No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Ooh, the gym. Old stomping grounds. Hank Patterson, Fly Fishing Guide.
Riley Smith, tight end.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be the kicker?
No, tight end.
Again, thank you. I'm looking for a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale. But you're not the kicker.
No.
Yeah. Nah, the kicker's probably taller and in a lot better shape. So, okay. What position do you play?
Tight end.
Squats. Yeah. Try it sometime.
RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, is going all in this season with an all-star lineup. First up, he led the Broncos to 3 conference championships and 10 20-win seasons. It's Coach Leon Rice. Next, he's the founder and CEO of RowPaint.com. He played a little basketball in high school on the driveway with his mom. It's Andy Rowe.
Oh, no. Want to just paint my house?
Now that I can do. When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust RowPaint.com to get that job done right.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Now, here's 4-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Greetings, Boise State fans. How we doing? Welcome on into a live edition here, Bronco Nation News Live at BroncoNationNews.com. It's Wednesday. It's a Lithia Ford to Boise Wednesday, and we've got our partnership with KTIK 95.3 The Ticket. So that means Johnny ball game, Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. Johnny, I hope you already pampered Cher with flowers and chocolates and breakfast in bed this morning. But how we doing, sir?
Doing well, BJ. Happy Valentine's Day to you and Karen as well. Hopefully you guys have nice plans tonight. Maybe go out, get a bite to eat and whatnot, see the town a little bit. Looks like a pretty decent-looking day so far. I'm not sure if it's going to clear up, but, yeah, Valentine's Day, it's fun. We'll be at Peachtree Perfection doing our show, so I always get excited about this day, BJ. Let's do it.
Yeah, looking forward to it. A lot to discuss. I do want to talk about the basketball games last night. Quick turnaround to this morning, Johnny. Although you stopped responding to the text thread, so I'm wondering if you even made it to the end of the Nevada-New Mexico game last night or not. But that game didn't end until after 11:15 or so. It was a late night Mountain West basketball. 2 great games. We'll get to those in a minute. I know you guys talked about this on yesterday's show, but I did want to start with George Holani getting invited to the NFL Scouting Combine. 20 straight years now that Boise State has had a player invited to the Combine, which in itself I think is a pretty cool accomplishment, pretty cool feat. He's obviously trying to extend that streak to 15 years, I believe, of getting a player drafted. I know you guys were all over this yesterday on Idaho Sports Talk, but just your take on George Holani? Were you expecting the combine invite, and what does this do now to his chances of getting drafted?
I wasn't expecting an invite to the combine, BJ. In fact, I believe only 6 Mountain West players were invited, and around 300 or so invited. But this to me is big for George to get this invite, BJ. This getting the combine invite to me legitimizes your attempt of going to the NFL. It assures you that teams, yes, you are on their radar. They want to see you for a number of particular reasons, and it's just a legitimacy deal with me. So for George to get the combine invite, I'm thinking, okay, maybe there is a shot here. Maybe there is a path to get drafted. We all knew George was going to be in a camp. That would have been a no-brainer. Whether it be a rookie mini camp or an actual undrafted free agent offer, BJ, George was going to get to put an NFL helmet on, at least for in that situation. But now he's going to the combine. It feels to me, BJ, that George is the type of guy, I don't know, maybe you could answer this as well, that will vastly benefit from the combine experience and getting people to see and know him up front. And I think this is a huge opportunity. I said no chance. I'll use Prater's line, 0% chance that George Holani would have been drafted last week. Now it's not a 0% chance. I think there's a shot, and I know Boise State fans are going to be paying a lot of attention, BJ, a lot of attention to the combine.
And I don't know if I'd quite go as far as, Khalil Shakir, but I mean, I think when everybody that followed him, Khalil Shakir the last 5 years at Boise State, are not super surprised with what he's doing in the NFL. We just saw that he didn't drop passes, saw that he was elite with the ball in his hands, smart football player. And when he had some success at the NFL, I think a lot of people were like, yeah, why didn't anybody else see this coming? We've seen this coming for years. I don't know if it's quite the same with George Holani, but I do believe that George Holani in the right situation certainly is a guy that I think could have some success. I mean, the only thing that's ever held him back is health, Johnny. I mean, if George Holani can stay healthy, he's proven consistently to have 1,000-yard seasons when he's played full seasons. I remember going back years, it just looks different when George Holani's out there. The offense just looks different. He's a dynamic player with the ball in his hands, and you put him in the right, punt return situation, running back situation in certain spots. I don't think it'd be crazy for us to look up in a couple years and have him be a guy that's making an impact like an Avery Williams or something in terms of just not being a star player, but having a role in an NFL team. I don't think that'd be crazy to envision.
That would be the career George Holani would have in the NFL, and that's fine. These NFL teams aren't drafting George Holani to get him 1,500 yards a year. They probably see a role. They see something that they can develop. He's going to be cost effective, and he can be an RB2 or an RB3 in the NFL, and he's experienced to the point where I think he's going to impress in pass pro, in the receiving game. I think he's going to know line play and whatnot. He's played in a couple of different systems. He's an intelligent guy, married, ready to go and just be a professional. And I think it's going to work. And BJ, if he can have that type of gig, maybe even the career that Jeremy McNichols has been able to hold on to, the McWeapon in the NFL.
Yeah.
That career, he'd probably take it right now, BJ. And it's funny, I didn't realize how productive George was just this past year. If you take away the UW game, which he played half of, and then a couple plays late, he essentially only played in 7 games on the year, and he has almost 900, I believe, scrimmage yards, 7-8 touchdowns, and just really the 7 games he played in, he was still effective. But like you said before, the injuries. And the one question he's probably going to get is, hey, George, after your true freshman year in 2019, we thought we'd be seeing you in the draft 2 years later. We thought you were going to be a 3-year guy. What took you 5-6 years to get here? He's going to have to explain that in health and that he is available. And if he does that and impresses people, maybe he gets drafted. I still think it's a shot, though, BJ. 29 running backs invited to the combine. That's a lot. Last year, 18, 19 got picked. So still a lot of work to do, but a cool story developing for Bronco Nation.
No doubt, no doubt. So congratulations to George Holani. We'll be following that. That's coming up here in a couple of weeks there in Indianapolis at the NFL Scouting Combine. And some other football news. Not sure if you saw Brett McMurphy this morning. John Mallory put out his first edition of the bowl projections for next season. And I know some folks kind of laugh at that, but the one notable thing is he does project Boise State as his Group of 5 playoff representative. He's got number 12 Boise State at number 5 Texas in the first round of the playoff.
Unless you hate Boise State, my Vandal friends and whoever else out there, Utah State guy and folks that hate Boise State, unless you're one of those, the world of college football, the nation of college football, I should say, is going to be pulling for Boise State to get that bid and qualify as the Group of 5 participant. I think everybody's going to be putting them in on preseason. It will add to the pressure. Hell, BJ, they may be looking for a new coordinator in a couple of hours. But yeah, college football, I think unless you're in that bubble of hate on BSU, and I'm not trying to get you out of that, but the world of college football, they're going to pick the Group of 5 team if they know anything about Boise State and the running back it has and the national notoriety that Genty might get. BJ, we're going to see a lot of these. And I think America wants it. I think that's kind of Boise State is America's college football underdog.
Was that you? I don't remember if that was you that said it or Tuss or somebody, or maybe it was Prater, but like, doesn't it just feel right for the first 12-team playoff for Boise State to be in it?
Yeah, I think outside of the Boise State hate circle, it's fine. I get it. Hate all you want. But if you ask some dude in down south or whatever, hey, who would you like to see represent the Group of 5? You go pull 100 people walking in and out of a Wally World. Who do you want to see? You'll probably get more Boise State than anybody.
Yeah. You don't think the Tulane or Western Michigan or some of these other teams
in Louisiana, maybe? I don't know if we're going to break down where the exact Walmart location is, but in most cases, BJ, I think
I agree. With what Boise State did, busting onto the scene, the first team to have that big, win in the Fiesta Bowl. I certainly feel like it would be kind of fitting for Boise State to make that. And if you're curious, Johnny, his opening line right now is Texas minus 19. If they were to play Texas in the 12-5 game.
Yeah, do you lay the 19 on the horns there, BJ? I don't know, man.
If Boise State only has one loss or something, I could see them being higher than the 12 seed. But
19's a lot of points, man. If Genty could get rolling, by this point, Malachi's playing like a sophomore or junior. Receivers are making plays. Chris Marshall. I'm kidding, obviously, but yeah, cool. 19. They already have a spread for this. but there's no other assignments these guys are doing, wherever publication that is. Holy smokes, man.
Brett McMurphy, that's the Action Network. One more football topic, Johnny, before we get to basketball, but it's looking more and more likely that Bush Hamdan is headed to Kentucky. I have not seen anything. I'm trying to check Twitter real quick in the last 20 minutes that's made it official. But everything I heard yesterday, Boise State is prepared to move on with the search here, not expecting Bush Hamdan back. That could be finalized as soon as today. That he is moving on. You've had a couple days, a couple shows now for you and Prater to discuss this, talk about this, candidates. Some people are wanting the internal candidate. Somebody's wanting somebody with Boise State ties. Some people are wanting completely outside the family. I think the fact that you are, 3 weeks from spring ball does factor into this in terms of bringing in somebody with a whole new terminology and all that kind of stuff from the outside. Where are you on just assuming that it does happen and Bush Hamdan is gone to Kentucky? What are your thoughts on the next offensive coordinator?
And just trying to move on from Bush and find the right piece here, BJ. I mean, is this going to be a pothole in the road? Is it going to be a speed bump in the road, or is it going to be a roadblock? I mean, who knows? This is now, I think, concern number one for this fan base. Look at these toys we have on offense. Who the hell's going to coordinate it? Who's our play caller? What? Spring practice starts in a couple of weeks, and we don't have a play calling OC? Don't have one? So, what's going on here? So, yeah, I mean, they have to act, I think. I mean, I don't know how much time you can wait on this. You obviously have to have the guy before spring practice. That would be silly if you don't. So it has to happen in a matter of weeks. I think it'll happen sooner than that, BJ. But, there'll be the usual suspects like you like you mentioned there, and see where Spencer Danielson goes. I mean, you raid somebody else's program. That's the other option. You find a coach currently getting ready for his own spring ball, and he's got to say, well, yeah, Boise State, this gig's going to pay a heck of a lot more than where I am and whatnot. Or you find someone who isn't working right now and try to work that out and get whoever that could be back into coaching. So Spencer Danielson, Jeremiah Dickey, they got work to do. This is, I don't know what it is right now. What is it? Just a speed bump? You got to slow down and pay caution and then hop on over that and you're good to go.
I imagine Spencer Danielson's phone is just blowing up, though, with interested candidates. I mean, you mentioned earlier Ashton Genty and Malachi Nelson and Chris Marshall. And, a team that's projected to get to the college football playoff this year. I would assume there's a lot of coaches that are interested in this job.
So many coaches. I'd agree with that, BJ. And you know how coaches are. They all communicate. They all text. They're all in the loop. They're all connected. And the Boise State OC, like you said, with everything on the table, you get hired to go to a restaurant, right? You're a chef. You show up, you walk in the kitchen, and you open the freezer, and you see the grade A top flight ingredients. You're like, oh, dude, my chicken marsala is going to taste even better here because look at the ingredients this restaurant has. You go into the Blameyer, and you see the ingredients of this offense. You're saying, oh, okay, you should look at the schedule, the opportunity to play those big teams early on and put Boise State on the national radar. Could you even imagine if they win one of those games early? I think the game, you know what I'm referring to, if something happens and they win that, all of a sudden the nation's going to be on this thing. It's going to be big time. But, yeah, you got to figure it out at that point, BJ, what direction you're going to go in. But, yeah, absolutely, man. You got to figure this thing out.
Week 2, September 7th at Autzen Stadium there at Oregon. That would be that's going to be quite the national stage, national opportunity, assuming they can win the Georgia Southern game for this team and this offense. Yeah. And every day something's popping up with football. It's going to be a lot of fun. And spring football only about 3 weeks away, Johnny, believe it or not. And I know you guys are doing your 15-part series there on KTIK. I think I started I had my off-season list was 25. I commend you guys. I commend you guys for starting with 15. But nobody likes a good old countdown list better than me to help fill the airwaves. And you guys have 15 players. You had Caden Dudley yesterday at 15.
Yeah, well, we're doing 15 shows until they kick off spring camp. That's why we went with the list of 15. So that's going to be fun. And yeah, Caden Dudley, BJ, when you go back, and I know you've crunched the numbers, but to look at Boise State last year as a team, 27 punt return yards on the year.
Not an average.
On the season, there were only 5 teams in America, FBS, that were worse. So what was Boise State? 127th, 128th in punt return yards, 27. To put that in perspective, Texas, the Longhorns, they led the nation in punt return yards. They have 393. Look at the difference, and that's an actual yard. 393 versus 27. And you can get those yards, the punt return yards. I mean, there are ways to attack that Boise State just didn't want to mess with for whatever reason it was last year. But, yeah, we said Caden Dudley, he's going to get an opportunity to return punts this year. We expect him on kicks. And, they need some type of pop in the return game. With Coach Collins coming back, we're interested to see what Caden Dudley's going to do in spring ball.
Do you know which school led the nation last year in punt return attempts? So lack of fair catches, returning punts, taking a chance when they caught the ball.
I think it was Air Force.
Penn State, Stacey Collins. They had 31 punt returns last year. They attempted 31 returns. There were some teams at 30, but nobody was more aggressive, and that's only in 13 games for Penn State because they did not play in a championship game or the playoff. 31 returns. They also tied for the national lead with 2 return touchdowns. So I do think that Caden Dudley / the return game / Stacey Collins is an intriguing storyline as this team tries to get a little more aggressive in the special teams game. So plenty of football talk. We'll do it every day and keep it going as we get closer to spring practice. But we had a crazy night in the Mountain West last night. The standings starting to shuffle a little bit. We'll talk Mountain West. We'll talk the games last night. We'll talk where Boise State fits in here in 90 seconds on Bronco Nation News. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of premix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU, and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. 2 great games in the Mountain West last night. You had Colorado State up by 14 at the half and then just completely fall apart. Johnny, 41 to 11. Scoring in the second half. Colorado State goes into the locker room.
Yeah.
Colorado State goes into the locker room up 14 at the half at Viejas Arena. And you're thinking if you're a Colorado State fan, if you're a player, you're whatever, you're like, we're up 14. Like, we just got to just kind of hang around here. We're going to win this game at Viejas. What a huge win. And then after scoring 44 in the first half, you go out and score 11 in the second half. They're outscored 41 to 11. And a 14-point lead turns into a fairly rough loss last night. The final score was 71 to 55. San Diego State, tough to beat at Viejas Arena. They remain undefeated at home. It didn't look good there for a while, Johnny, but, man, kudos to San Diego State for coming back. And, man, what the heck happened to Colorado State?
Yeah, imagine all those suckers out there that had Colorado State +6. At halftime, up 14, but you're putting your feet up.
Who would have had that? Who would have made it?
Who had that? Popping out my Ritz with my easy cheese, letting that sucker flow. Yes, Colorado State. I mean, if anything, they were still going to cover. They didn't even cover. That's how bad Colorado State was in the second half, BJ. And that's just the Mountain West, right? And I love it. It's just this dogfight every night. And Leon Rice has said this too. The difference between the good teams and the okay teams, or the great teams and the good teams, is the consistency. The teams that bring it every night. You can't lollygag in this league, and if you do, you'll pay for it. And it really doesn't matter who you play. Every team I've seen, even San Jose, has spurts of firepower that can alarm you if you don't bring it. Last night, Colorado State, I don't know what went on at halftime. I get it. You're up 14. These guys have all played a lot of games in their life. They probably haven't lost many when they were up 14 at halftime. Maybe some type of psychology does set in. San Diego State, everything you said, that arena. Hell, man, you look at the desperation in some of these Mountain West teams. BJ, some of these losses are adding up a little bit, and you start looking at your resume, you're going to get in with 9-10 losses. San Diego State played its tail off in the second half, and that is why, BJ, I think if you take every team in this league when they are at their absolute best, I think I'd put my money on San Diego State.
Certainly when they're playing at home, they're going to be tough to beat in that building for sure. Jason Ledee, 27 points last night. Once again, continuing to be probably the Mountain West Player of the Year and in the conversation for All-American status with what he's doing. He was also 10 of 14 from the foul line. You had I'm looking for that was from the field. Sorry, 10 of 14. I was trying to find the free throw numbers. There was a pretty big disparity for San Diego State, but San Diego State comes back from the double-digit halftime. They get the win, and then in the nightcap, Johnny, just a tremendous game in Reno. and you had another situation where the road team goes up by double digits at the half. New Mexico was up 10 at halftime. 2 different times, Nevada battled back to tie the game, and then it went back to 10. They came back and tied the game again. They take the lead late, but Jamal Mashburn Jr., the shot clock's running out with about a minute to go, hits a massive three-pointer. And then after Nevada had come down and scored, they're down. Nevada's up 2, and they're on defense. You make one stop, you win the game. Somehow Mashburn again is wide open in the corner. He hits a three-pointer with 20 seconds left in the game to put the Lobos up by 1. And then didn't love the last play call. I get it. I love Keenan Blackshear. I know he's your guy, and you like him kind of getting physical in the lane and trying to get a foul call or trying to hit that fadeaway, but they just let way too much time run out. So when he rimmed off the shot, they got the offensive rebound, but there was no time left to put the shot back up. I would have liked to have seen him go a little earlier and give yourself a chance when you're down by 1. But New Mexico escapes Reno with the win. They joined Boise State as the only 2 teams all season to leave Reno with a win. And New Mexico has a very tough schedule coming up. So we'll get to the standings in a second and what it means. But just your thoughts on that game and New Mexico getting a big win there in Reno.
I see that game last night, and I'm thinking, you know what? I hope both these teams make the tournament, because when both these teams play well, it could be a neutral site against whatever opponent. I could see both these teams winning a game in the tournament. They have serious firepower. They're tough. They play hard. They're both very well coached. I'm a fan of Patino and Alford there. And, we've seen these 2 teams. I know it's totally different eras, but have some success in the NCAA tournament, certainly Nevada, more so than New Mexico. And that was my thought last night. Like, you know what? I can't see a world with both these teams not making the tournament. Nevada last year got in on the first 4. Maybe they will again, something like that this year. But yeah, every single night, it's almost like take the underdog, in a lot of these games, because it's so close. And we're seeing BJ, Boise State, like you said, when you bring the standings up, all these dogfights going on, and possibly getting an easy run in your schedule is more beneficial now, certainly, than it would have been early in the season.
And just to tell you how tough this league is, I mean, this, they were, Nevada was 1 shot away, 1 ball rimming in away from winning that game last night. Well, like 2 weeks ago, they just lost by 34 at the Pit. Like, you can lose by 34 when you play a team one place. You turn around and play them at the other arena, and it's a 33-point difference in the spread. Like, just incredible, and a couple of great games last night. A couple of intriguing games tonight as well, but we can go ahead, Johnny. First, Derek said stunned by that. Got the rebound, no time left for the second shot. Could have even fouled if they needed it. Yeah, I would have gone a little earlier in that and left a little time left.
BJ.
Yeah.
Think about this, though. You said how Nevada went to the Pit and lost by 30.
34, yep.
Okay. Well, last night, New Mexico comes to Reno, and Nevada's favored. Think about that. You just got your ass totally kicked by 34 points on their floor, and you get them on your floor, and Vegas has you favored. I mean, that puts it into perspective as well.
All right, let's take a look at the standings here, Johnny. We'll bring these up full screen. You've got Utah State, obviously, as the top team here by 1 game, but they play tonight. Old Jeff Linder and company, Johnny, they're waiting for him in Laramie, Wyoming tonight, where they've only lost 1 conference game at home this year. But what do you make of the standings here now? New Mexico and San Diego State with the win are up to 8-4. Boise State is a game back of the standings, back from them in the percentage points. But you start to have this thing shake out a little bit, and I will reference some of the games coming up, though, Johnny, as we look at this. Friday night, New Mexico is at San Diego State. So you get another big Mountain West game on Friday night. One of those teams is dropping down to 5 losses. You have Colorado State on Saturday hosting Utah State. So one of those teams is going to get another loss right away. Nevada's got some games coming up. I mean, you look at this shuffling here in the standings. There's going to be a lot of shuffling left to do, but I say that because I still think Boise State's in a pretty good spot right now.
PJ, when I look at this, all I see is, losses. I see losses coming for all of these teams, including, of course, Boise State. No one's going to win this league, BJ, at 14-4. It ain't happening, man. 13-5, I guess. Right now, you might be thinking, hey, there's going to be a couple teams that are tied at 12-6, and that's going to be your conference co-champions. I mean, I'm at this point, BJ. I mean, is there a possible cannibalization with this thing? Could it possibly be that the NCAA tournament and the bid number is effective because they just, dang it, beat themselves up so well, I will say? I mean, where you're having, hey, how can we have 5 Mountain West teams in the tournament if all 5 of them have 6 or 7 league losses? Get out of here. We're not putting a Mountain West team in guaranteed that's 10-8 in their league. No. Like, I wonder if that's going to affect. There's no cream rising, BJ. There's no separation in this thing. Look at that. I mean, Steve Alford's telling his team, hell, Jeff Linder is telling his team right now, we are 1 game out of second place in this league. We are right where we want to be. I mean, think about that. They're legit.
Well, look at UNLV too. I mean, UNLV lost by 34 or whatever it was, 32 to Air Force at home, and yet they're 1 game out of first place.
1-4 in a row. Yeah, Kruger's telling his team, we're playing our best ball right now. We've won 4 in a row. We're the hottest team in this league. Look out for the running Rebels. Yeah, I mean, that's what's crazy about it. I mean, overall, is that going to hurt its tournament chances? I hope not, because you and I cover this league. We know how stinking cool it is, and 5, maybe 6 teams deserve to be in this league. We know how competitive this thing is, but I don't know. Is the committee really going to say, oh, we're going to put 6 Mountain West teams in, even though not one of them has less than 5 conference losses? I don't know.
The one that worries me the most is Nevada, because you look at Nevada, they're already at 6-5 in league, and they have to go to UNLV on Saturday. That's certainly going to be a tough one. And you look at the rest of their schedule, they've still got at Colorado State, at Boise State, and they play UNLV at home. So, I mean, I see 3 potential losses still left for Nevada on their schedule, and I'm not sure at 10-8 if that's going to be enough for them to be able to get in. That'd be 9 losses, maybe 10 going into the conference tournament. I mentioned Colorado State and their schedule. Johnny, they are hosting Utah State on Saturday, but they've still got to go back-to-back next week, Johnny. Colorado State at New Mexico, at UNLV next week for Colorado State. So they're going to probably lose a couple more games, and they've still got Nevada at home, but they do finish with Wyoming at home and at Air Force. But I could easily see Colorado State losing 2 of their next 3 games, and they're going to drop down. And I mean, you could pick any team in this group. You look at San Diego State. Yes, they host New Mexico on Friday, but then they have to go to Utah State on Tuesday. They've still got to go to UNLV as well, and they do get Boise State at home. But I see, potentially 2 more losses for San Diego State on this list as well. I mean, you pick any team you want, Johnny. As you said, 2-3 losses are coming for all these teams. The nice thing for Boise State, at least in the short term, Johnny, is their next 4 games are all fairly winnable here.
All 4 teams, BJ.
And again, sometimes those are scarier, Johnny, because they're the ones that hurt you more if you lose one of those teams at the bottom. But I really think the way this shakes out is, especially with Saturday, Utah State having to go to Colorado State, and then Tuesday, Utah State and San Diego State playing. We're going to look up, Boise State plays Fresno on Saturday and then San Jose on Tuesday, Johnny. When you join me next Wednesday and we put these standings back up on the screen, there's going to be a good chance Boise State's at the top.
Who's number 2 in the BJ Rains power rankings?
I
assume Utah State's number 1.
You love poking that thing, man. You love it.
I'm interested in your opinion, and I think the paying subscribers at BNN are as well. Who would be number 2?
I think I agree with you on San Diego State. I'll give Utah State the top spot just because they're the only undefeated first place, or the only first place team in sole possession. They're playing very well. I'm still on a neutral court, Johnny, would still not be super scared if Boise State had to play Utah State on a neutral court for a third matchup. But right now, I'd have to put Utah State first, and I think San Diego State has to be second. And then I think there's a bunch of teams in that mix for Boise State and New Mexico are right there at 3 and 4. It's going to shake out, but I think you have to put Utah State and San Diego State at the top 2 spots.
Okay, that seems fair to me. Yeah, and then Boise State, New Mexico, sort that out if you want to do head-to-head, if you want to do any other metrics. Yeah, I mean, and I think right now though, and we will see because a lot can happen, but it feels like 4 bids is absolutely safe, right? I mean, that's what this league got the last 2 years. It's at least going to get that and continue to prove to the committee that, oh yeah, the Mountain West, that's a 4-bid league. It just kind of is. Take the first 4 teams. Yep. Unless something crazy happens in their conference tournament, whatever. Yep. Those teams are getting in. This year, you're pushing for the 5th and possible 6th team. But yeah, Boise State, its position, BJ, their next 4 games are against the teams at the bottom 4 of the standings. If there's ever a time you would want some type of break, or at least, I mean, let's just be honest, call a spade, a team at the bottom of the standings, a team that has struggled this year more so than the teams at the top, a team you should beat by all metrics. It's a great spot for Boise State to be in, and I like the fact that it's a veteran team, BJ. Max, Tyson, Abbo, they're not going to let this thing slip away. They're going to see this. They're going to go, obviously, and play against Fresno on Saturday, like Fresno is New Mexico. I have no doubt in my mind it's probably going to be sold out or close to it again. Going to be a great atmosphere. So I think they'll be ready for these next few games. It's going to be a good ride.
It's like in a golf tournament, right? Is it like Saturday? They call it moving day or whatever, where it's kind of your third portion of the 4-day tournament. It's where you kind of position yourself for that final day. And it feels like these next, 2 weeks, Johnny, with Boise State having that bye, a lot of tough games for the other teams. Boise State on paper having 4 winnable games. This feels like a very key stretch for Boise State to start, not only get some wins, but start playing good, start feeling good. And then you got Nevada, New Mexico coming to town to finish the home schedule. Both those games will be electric at home if Boise State's on this winning streak. And then you finish at San Diego State. But these next 2 weeks, I think, are massively important because – and I want to thank a couple more sponsors real quick and then finish up the show, Johnny, with what the potential matchups would be in the conference tournament and how this bye situation comes into play here. We'll do that in just a second. But first, it's a Lithia Ford Boise Wednesday. LithiaFordBoise.com. Check them out. View their full inventory of vehicles. Jim Sturk and company. They got 5 NIL deals with student athletes at Boise State. The Raines family obviously purchased our F-150 from them. Couldn't be happier. So it's such an easy process. Go online, LithiaFordBoise.com. View the inventory. Pick a couple you like. Go in, test drive them, and you're on your way. Lithia Ford of Boise. Taco Bell, my kids are loving those new double berry slushies they got there. Check them out if you're looking for a new job, TacoBellWorks.com. They'll give you, it's a pretty cool thing that they're doing. They'll give you half your wages the very next day after your shift. So if you need a job but you need quick cash, don't want to wait 3 weeks for your first payday, TacoBellWorks.com. Check them out. SON Management, the Nicolason family, and we appreciate their support. TheBlueAndOrangeStore.com. Free shipping order over any order over $40. You get free shipping at TheBlueAndOrangeStore.com. NIL shirts, jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, you name it. An entire store dedicated to Boise State apparel and gear. And you can do it online at TheBlueAndOrangeStore.com if you're not in the Boise area, or you can go to the Boise Town Square Mall there on the second floor next to Pro Image and get all of your Boise State gear. And if you're, speaking of jobs, some folks getting into the trucking industry, it's a booming industry right now. Check them out. They can help you with the permits, overweight permits, DOT permits, everything you need to get out there towing that first load in no time. The folks that try to do it themselves, over 75% of them end up going out of business. So let the professionals handle the paperwork and everything you need and get you out there towing that first load in no time. And Wednesday morning, my wife was having some Bronco Brew coffee a short time ago. She ordered it online, and within 24 hours, it was at her doorstep. Check them out, broncobrew.coffee. You're helping the NIL game at Boise State with every sip. Couple bucks goes to the athlete of your choice there online at broncobrew.coffee. So support them, then you're supporting Boise State Athletics at the same time, and it's some delicious, fresh, roasted-to-order coffee. We appreciate our friends at Bronco Brew Coffee. Okay, Johnny, I mentioned this year it seems like the positioning matters more than anything, and I do think the number 1 seed this year has a massive benefit over previous years because usually the cutoff was kind of at 3 or 4 in terms of teams that really scared you. Now you're talking 7. I mean, somebody might finish second in this league, Johnny. You're the number 2 seed. Congratulations. And you get to play UNLV on their home floor in a quad 1 game, oh, great. Wow. You're the 3rd seed. Okay, great. You get, Nevada or Colorado State in the first round.
Be an underdog.
It's going to be just an unbelievable thing. And I guess the seeding maybe doesn't matter as much 2 through whatever, because everyone's going to have a tough game on that first day. But I mean, you're talking multiple teams, Johnny, that are going to have to play in the play-in round on Wednesday. I don't think we ever thought when we set it up to go to Circa for 3 days, when you guys were doing your show on Wednesday from the sports book from 2 to 5, that you're going to be watching a Mountain West game on TV, and it might be a team that's going to the NCAA tournament the next week. I mean, Colorado State, Nevada, however it shakes out, like there's going to be some good teams having to play on Wednesday, and this league is just crazy good. And I hope you're right that they don't cannibalize each other and hurt each other with the bids. If you look up on Selection Sunday, and all these Mountain West teams have 10 losses, but hopefully you're seeing national people realize how good the league is. The metrics are staying strong, Johnny. Like even after a loss last night at Colorado State, they still only lost like one spot. They're still number 30 in the net rankings. So however they trick the computers, however they're doing it, so far so good. And I think the 6 bid Mountain West is alive and well at this point.
Best conference tournament ever. And just think, it's even going to add to the sizzle of the BNN KTIK pool party, right? Those games are going to be going on. Mountain West topics flying around there. Bronco Nation, hopefully right there, smack in the middle of things. And that's is going to be kind of the main thing on this pool party that has almost 100 RSVPs already. This is going to be big. If you're going to Vegas for the conference tournament, I don't care if you're a Boise State fan or not. This is Mountain West brethren we're talking about. Show up at the pool party. It's going to be killer.
We're at 82 to be exact, Johnny. We already have more than 80 RSVPs. It's unbelievable, and we're still 4 weeks away from the tournament. I know we're talking about some I know your mind is spinning. We're talking about some cool things. We got some cool ideas for some giveaways and things, and maybe have kind of an extended show or live stream going and interview some fans and have some fun. I know you guys are going to be out there 2 to 5 doing your show. It's going to be a ton of fun. They're basically giving us a full private pool, and this is like a $40 or $50. Everybody else in here, Johnny, when they show up at Circa, they're going to be paying like a $50 cover charge to get in. It's free if you're with KTIK or Bronco Nation News. You just got to email me, rains@bronconationnews.com. rains@bronconationnews.com. We're going to have a private cabana, Johnny, for paying subscribers. You're going to be able to come in and get a beverage or two, get some snacks, some appetizers. If you're not a paying subscriber, again, still free, still want you to come. Everybody is welcome. And they've got all kinds of food and drink available there. And as you said, all the games are going to be on, and it's just going to be an epic couple of days, and can't wait to get down there. 4 weeks from today, you guys will be doing live show, I think, from the sports book there on the opening round of the Mountain West tournament. And again, in the past, the opening round games have kind of been an afterthought, but now you're going to have 3 good games, and then Thursday and then Friday we'll have the pool party all day. We'll be out there. You guys will be on the air 2 to 5 Pacific time, and hopefully folks will make plans to join us. Again, email me, rains@bronconationnews.com. We've got a certain number of free entries we can give out, so don't wait. Get in now, rains@bronconationnews.com. Johnny, Wednesday edition, Idaho Sports Talk today. What do we got coming up?
We're live from Pastry Perfection.
Yes,
our
Diamond
Dig. Yeah, so one of our listeners or someone who shows up to Pastry Perfection, we're taking 4 qualifiers who walk up during the show, and you might have a chance to dig for a diamond ring donated by the Diamond Girls. Great people there too. So we love Halloween. I've done that twice now. I've called Valentine's Day Halloween. We love Valentine's Day on KTIK, so we're gonna have some fun with that.
Tyree said, Diamond Dig today. I got a Pastry Perfection maple bar for breakfast today.
Those are so good, man. Degenhardt dozens. You just walk in to Pastry Perfection, BJ, and it's like angels have infiltrated your nostrils.
Well, we know you enjoyed the that's one way to put it. But we know you as I find the video here real quick and pull it up to finish off the show. We know you're well aware of the donuts there because you got one from Clark Kellogg back at the back a couple of weeks ago against San Diego State.
Am I wearing that exact same shirt right now?
Oh my gosh, you are, dude.
BJ, why'd you play that video? I know that's like a month ago, but I am. Yeah. I mean, I'm a rotational guy. What can I say?
You're not allowed to ever wear the same shirt twice?
No, I wear the same shirt all the time. I just I guess I'm not as creative as I thought. Yeah, that's the same shirt.
I didn't even know that. I just knew that I had a photo of you eating a donut, and I thought I'd go find it. But Diamond Dig, Pastry Perfection, get out there, check them out. They'll be live 3 to 6 today. That's going to be fun. Hopefully everybody has a great Valentine's Day. Appreciate JP for getting us on the air. Thank you, Johnny, to you as well. And again, 2 more Mountain West games tonight. I'll say this on the way out. UNLV, Johnny, the whole Mountain West should be big UNLV fans right now down the stretch. They're number 89 in the net. If they can get to 75 in the net, they need to go up 14 spots, which is certainly possible with a couple nice games. That would make the bad losses for teams like Boise State move up to quad 2 and would certainly help the resume. They're at Fresno tonight at 9 o'clock. So after you go on your Valentine's Day dinner, come on back, watch some Mountain West basketball. And I also think Utah State at Wyoming could be an intriguing game as well. That's 8 p.m. tonight as well. Wyoming has played really well at home, not so much on the road, and we'll be tracking both those Mountain West games tonight. So appreciate you, Johnny. Thank you to all the comments. Thank you to everybody out there. Hope you had a great Valentine's Day. RSVP for the pool party. Sign up for a subscription. Friday, Johnny. Friday is the day we're giving away the private jet trip to San Diego for the final game of the regular season. So you've only got about 48 hours to jump in with a subscription to BNN. BNN 50 deals that promo code. You jump in, you're automatically entered. And on Friday, we're going to give away some prizes, including the grand prize, a trip to San Diego for the final game of the regular season on a private jet. So jump in now and don't miss that. And we'll have you covered, BroncoNationNews.com, if anything breaks on the Bush-Hampton front or anywhere else. Otherwise, we'll talk to you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day, folks. We'll be listening to Prater and Johnny at 3 o'clock. And then we'll talk to you tomorrow at 9 on BNN Live. Take care, folks.